So we're now in the fifth of this little video series introducing you to the idea of the connection between metabolic health and mental health. And I want to circle back to the beginning, that patient I told you about, patient B, my first patient. Something I didn't tell you about her was, along with her Parkinson's disease, she had depression, pretty debilitating depression, which is not uncommon in patients with Parkinson's disease. And obviously it's not totally clear as to whether, just her state was causing depression or if there was something more metabolic going on. And I think there was something metabolic going on separate, along with her Parkinson's, that was contributing to her depression. She had obesity. She actually had an autoimmune disease as well, rheumatoid arthritis of the hip. And as she got better, not only did her physical health get better, her motor symptoms improved to the Parkinson's, but her mental health improved dramatically. She lit up, as I already indicated when I mentioned earlier that text she sent me about her dancing and laughing in the kitchen. But I kind of want to give a better picture of what changed and how her behavior changes really set off a virtuous cycle that saved her, really changed her life in a dramatic way. Think about where she started. She couldn't move because of her bad hip and her Parkinson's disease. So she was sedentary. Her diet wasn't particularly good. She had some obesity and wasn't very mobile. In fact, the first time we went shopping together, she couldn't walk around. So I had to put her, like a kid, in a shopping cart and push her around to help her make food choices. So we started our journey together. She improved the way she was eating. She, in this case, cut out carbohydrates and went on a ketogenic diet. In this case, a plant-based ketogenic diet. I'm not advocating for that. It's just what she did. She lost a lot of weight by virtue of cutting out carbs and sugar and went into a metabolic state of ketosis. The ketones were feeding her brain, particularly the cells involved in her Parkinson's disease, which are very energetically expensive, although they do feed basically the whole brain. So her motor symptoms improved. The ketones also had anti-inflammatory effects throughout her body and her brain. There were improvements in her rheumatoid arthritis symptoms as inflammation went down. Again, her brain function improved on many fronts, and that enabled her to start making better choices, but also just physically functioning better. So in addition to having a better diet, a cleaner diet, not eating junk food, going into ketosis to help fuel her brain, she lost weight. Her inflammation went down so she could move around. The dancing I mentioned. That activity then can further perpetuate this virtuous cycle. Charging up her mitochondria, giving them a reason to be active. I know that's anthropomorphizing a little bit, but the story here is we get caught as human beings in these vicious negative cycles that keep us sick. We can break these cycles. We can start new cycles that are virtuous, that improve our peripheral metabolic health, how we move around in the world and present ourselves, how we look physically in dramatic ways. I've seen pretty amazing transformations, but the more impressive transformations are those in here, which follow. And what we're hoping to build with this platform is something that can break those negative vicious cycles and start the good ones. Thanks.